I was just going to talk about how I view diet, weight loss, getting in shape, what steps to take, what path to go, where you start, where to end up, right? A lot of things that people don't really understand or they've never experienced. They um, don't have if I do this, this happens, right? They've never done it before. So their brain doesn't understand, especially when you're talking about working out and how your muscles should feel after a workout, how your body should feel after a workout, or dieting, what being hungry means, what being full means, how that actually feels when it comes to actively being in shape, right? Or let's say healthy, right? Healthy is what we're going for. In shape, cool, that's great, but healthy is really where I like to be. I'm not here for, oh, you have to look a certain way or be a certain body weight. That's not my view on fitness or anything at all. It is what your body is and how you move it and how functional your body is and how healthy your body is, blood work, hormones, right? All the things that are dialed in. Um, let's start with diet, right? The big one, the hard one. When you're go to lose weight and you're not losing weight, it's struggling. In your head, it's hard to wrap your mind around. Well, I'm not eating enough. I'm hungry all the time. I don't feel good, and nothing's happening. The scale's not moving. Right. So diet is very tricky. As in, by itself, it is what moves your body weight up and down. But working out, not so much. But that being said, in my experience, working out, or let's say exercising, right? I come from more of a bodybuilding perspective, so my view's a little bit different. But let's just say working out. So working out, exercising, it gets your body moving, right? And it gets your muscles working, which is where we really want to be. When your muscles are working, they're using more nutrients, they're holding more water, right? We call it newbie gains. In the gym, you gain a lot of muscle very fast. It's really just your muscles holding water and then learning how to work correctly. When your muscles are working correctly and you go to work out, you're stronger, right? And this thing of getting stronger, it makes you be able to use more energy. And the better your muscles are working, the harder you're able to push yourself in your exercises that you choose, the more energy you're going to burn, right? So how do we do that? We need to get in this routine of going to the gym or whatever you like to do, Pilates, yoga, get going outside, taking a walk, walking your dog, whatever it is. The routine of doing that consistently, right? Even parking in the back of a parking lot, walking to the store is a place to start. You just do something, push-ups on the floor, anything. And if you do that consistently, daily, maybe even weekly at first, and you start to build this habit of doing it and doing it and doing it, your muscles will work better and better and better. And the better your muscles work, like I said before, the more nutrients they're going to need, the more energy they're going to pull. And that is where the diet is going to come in. So if you don't have this base of being able to exercise and being able to push your body harder than it is used to being pushed, however that looks for you and what exercises you choose, once you are able to do that, and then at that point you focus on what you're eating. And it doesn't have to be tracking calories and macros and all that. It's very time consuming, and it's daunting task for people who've never done it before. It scares them away. Just figure out how much you are eating, right? So we're working out, we're in our routine, we're feeling good, we like our routine. We're not worried about the scale, we're not worried about body weight, we're not worried about how we look, we're worried about how we feel being in the routine. Once the routine is clicking and I like this, I could do this every day, boom, great. Now we do it for a while and we start our diet. And just tracking what you're eating. Like, I'm talking get a scale. I'm eating a Big Mac. Put the Big Mac on the scale. Serious. I am dead serious about this. The fries. Every single thing you eat hits the scale and gets weighed, right? You don't have to write anything down. You don't have to, none of that. So you're looking at every time you eat something, you see a number associated with it. This is going to get you in the habit of just using the scale. Pull out the scale, put the food on it, boom. Put the food on, put the food on. How to use the scale. It's easy. And then if you're actually, wanting to go up or down in weight, you can take the scale, you could put the same Big Mac on it. You can say, well, I don't want to give up the Big Mac. So when you go to put the fries, you're writing, maybe you start writing stuff down, or you have a notes, or you have an app or something, or just, in your head, you've seen the Big Mac weighs this much every time, the fries weigh this much every time. You've seen it 100 times by now because it's been months, right? Then you could just be like, well, the fries are normally 250 grams, and I'll just eat 100 grams of fries, right? Whatever it is. And then the rest of your meal could stay the same. Just that little adjustment is, if you're not consistently gaining weight, it is going to change the scale. Just that one adjustment. And you could do that on 1 meal, 2 meal, 3 meal. It's not that big of a deal yet, right? We just want to be working out and we want to be looking at what we're eating, conscious of it. Then one day, you decide I'll cut the Big Mac in half, and I'll have half now, I'll eat all my fries, and then half later, right? And that spread out your food a little bit more. You're not as hungry, right? And it's going to come to a point where you're going to realize, okay, well, I have to eat so little Big Macs and French fries that I'm just hungry all the time. You're going to have to figure out other foods that you like to eat. You need very good protein sources, chicken, chicken, beef, pork, some pork, you don't have too many options on proteins. There are plant proteins. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of some of them. Pea, rice protein, I'm okay with it. The soy protein is like, if you have to, you have to. If you like it, you like it. And if you like it, that means you're going to eat it. And if you're going to eat it, is better, right? If you're something you can actually eat and you enjoy eating, is better. And don't let my preference, influence you. So once you get there, then you can kind of just make a plan of yourself, right? I'm going to eat this much of this, this much of this, this much of this per meal. And you just take out a bowl, take out a box, and you take out the ingredients, and it all goes on the scale. Boom, 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 boom. You're so used to doing it, it probably takes you less than an extra minute to prepare the food. If not, makes the preparing the food faster, because you're not preparing as much food. You don't have to cut up as much chicken, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you get to the point where your working out is going to reflect this diet that you have. At this point, you will most likely be losing weight or have lost weight. And that's just natural. And you've done actually nothing to try, right? You're going to come a point like where working out and diet meet. And that's probably where you are about right now in the video. When they meet, it's kind of beautiful. The food you eat affects how you work out, but your workout affects how much food you eat. And it's kind of this back and forth of play of finding a balance for you. And that is the point where macros come in. And I'm not saying you have to track all your macros. Personally, I've been doing this for I don't know how many years, and I have my credentials in photographic form. I have never tracked fats or carbs. I have only tracked protein and calories. And for me, it has worked wonders. Generally, I do try to eat a lower fat diet, which ends up being around 60 to maybe 80 grams of fat a day, and the rest is carbs. And my protein always stays the same. So, generally, my macros there, I do about 200 grams of protein a day right now. Maybe when I'm trying to grow, I'll do maybe up to 250. For my body weight, it doesn't make much sense to go over that. I've done 300 before. I've noticed no change, no difference. I've done 350. I've done huge numbers, and it didn't really affect. If anything, the workouts were affected. I was not able to push myself as hard in the gym because I didn't have enough carbs. This is where they meet. I was eating a ton of protein, and my body was so busy, like dealing with all that chicken I just ate, that it was like sucking energy out of my workouts. My carbs were all being diverted to my stomach and digestive tract, and my workouts were suffering. And I figured out the balance, and I worked with it. Generally, I would say I would like to aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you want to be, right? This is where, and be reasonable, right? If you're 135 pounds and you want to be 200 pounds, just eating 200 grams of protein is, but like, okay, in 6 months I want to be 155. Well, then eat 155 grams of protein. If you're losing weight, I feel like losing weight, the protein does help you a little bit because you can get more full off of protein, and the amount of energy the protein makes with the same amount of calories is less because your body has to digest it more and process it more to use it as energy. But for the amino acid, like to your muscles and stuff, is different. But eating so much protein, you're going to get some of it is used for energy, some of it is used for muscles, right, and repair and organs. Well, you want to find that as you diet, eating more protein can be better, right? Because you can eat more calories in a day, and your body is kind of burning like 25% of that just to deal with it. And then, so you get that extra 25% of calorie, you get what I'm trying to say. But carbs really are where it's at. The more carbs you can have and still lose weight, the better, because you are going to have more energy in the gym. Now, granted, this is asterisk with, you want to take your carbs around your working out and around your, pre and post. Having carbs at night is also very good for like recovering at night. But in the morning, if it's not a pre-workout meal, right, having more fats does help. I find like a heavier fat meal in the morning to, and then keep it even throughout the rest of the day. It gives more long-term energy, better hormone production, all that stuff, right? Well, once this diet meets and the workouts meet, and you find your spot of this is how much I need to eat to be able to do the workout the way I want to do it, and to be able to do it better than I did last week, last month, right, whatever. And continuing to add to your workouts here, that is going to be a huge point. But I'm going to have to go for right now. So realize that it was a little harsh when I was rewatching the videos, but yeah, I think the only thing left to talk about is really hunger. Maybe I can wrap up some more of the working out stuff. See, working out, you need to push yourself more and more, almost every time you go, if possible. Now, granted, this is also within reason. With weight training, it's much easier to do this, you could just pick up a heavier weight and see if you could do it, right? Running and, calisthenics and yoga and Pilates, generally I think you're going to get stronger, and then that feeling that you got at the beginning, that soreness is going to slowly go away, and you're going to kind of have this feeling of like you worked out well after. And to get that same feeling, you're going to have to work out more or harder, right? Um, and really, that's what we're trying to do, because if we're not able to do that, our muscles will not continue to grow and we won't continue to burn the same calories. Our body is very good at keeping us where it is and keeping us where we are. Uh, it wants to stay the same. And, you can go into a calorie deficit, and if you just keep doing the same workouts and your body knows, okay, he's going to run a mile on the treadmill, then he's going to do 25 push-ups, then he's going to, do some abs, and he's going to go home. Well, your body gets very, very good at allocating the resources for that and making that exercise use the least amount of energy. So if you are constantly pushing yourself and opening up that window of how much energy am I using, I'm constantly doing more, my body can't adapt to it. Or it can, but it has to work to adapt to it, right? It's not just stagnate and doing the same thing over and over. And doing the same thing over and over isn't bad. If you're in a busy time in your life, or if you're in don't have a lot of time this week or that week or a month of, especially around Christmas and New Year's time is a very good example. You just have so much stuff to do. If you could just go in and do what you did last time and get out, that is great. But over long term, when we're talking about years and months and years, it's good to try to push yourself. And that's really going to help the food be higher for you. So you'll be able to eat more and stay lean, or you'll be able to eat more and lose weight, right? You'll be able to eat more food and still be able to lose weight. So now hunger, when you first start out, especially higher body fat percentage, hunger is weird. I think it is a habit for most people to eat. I don't think it's necessarily I'm hungry, I want to eat. It's it's time to eat, I'm gonna eat, right? Or, oh wow, hard day at work, let me drink a couple beers and have an ice cream, right? Whatever it is that you like to do. Or I gotta stop on, I know it's gonna be a long day at work today, let me stop and get donuts or something. I am the donut king right here, okay? Don't play with me. I will eat some donuts. But over a long period of time, those type of habits need to be broken. And, by the methods that I explained earlier in the video, there is a way for you to break those habits by looking at your food and seeing your food on the scale, being intentional with your food. Because technically, even even donuts and stuff can be tracked. And, you can use nutrition facts from, say, Krispy Kreme, and the weight and the donut, it has a weight and a calories. And then you take your donut, how much does my donut weigh, divided by the weight of the Krispy Kreme donut serving times the calories of the Krispy Kreme donut serving, right? It can be done, and it can be fit into your diet. But the habitual overeating is what I think most people do. So it's more of breaking the habit of, I'm bored, I need to eat. I feel bad, I need to eat, right? It's the waiting for your body to actually say, I'm hungry. Waiting for your stomach to be like, oh, if you don't put something in me, I'm going to eat you next, right? But right there, that is the thing that you want when you're trying to lose fat. Please eat me. If you're hungry, and it's probably working, right? So when you do eat, have your meal timings, you have your meal plan, and you have the things you eat, you're going to figure out which things you eat, carb sources, protein sources, fat sources, that make you specifically full. Me, I can't, people are like, oh, fats are satiating, eat more fats, you'll be more full. No, I need my belly to actually be full all the way and like full of food. There needs to be 1.5 pounds of food in my stomach for me to be full, right? That's just not going to happen with fat. So lettuce, tomatoes, right? But I just shove it in my mouth. I'll eat it. See, people have trouble eating, whatever. But very voluminous foods that you can put in your stomach and make you full. Hunger cues are kind of like our way of telling us we need food. But your brain can give you a hunger cue when you're not actually hungry because it's bored or, right, your brain is resisting the change. So if your change is going down, your body's going to tell you, well, I'm hungry. Well, I don't know in what case, or, let's say, for example, you have 60 pounds of fat to lose. Yeah, you're hungry, but your body's fine. Your body has plenty of energy to use. And at the beginning, it will use it very easily and it'll burn through it fast. And as you start to get to a certain point, your body's going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I used to have like 30 more pounds of extra energy. What did you do with it? I don't really want to use the extra energy I have now, right? And that's when the working out and the listening to the hunger cues really pushes you through the edge. Because the pushing yourself in the workouts is going to just say, no, you have to use it. You have to use this energy. I'll keep you full. I'll keep shoving potatoes and lettuce down there. And you're going to be full, but you're going to have to work and you're going to have to burn the extra off. I think for me, a hunger cue really feels like it's almost like an acid, like reflux, almost like there's nothing in there and there needs to be something in there. And you could kind of tell when your hunger cues are starting to be more truthful to you and more accurate. Whenever it's like you wake up in the morning, okay, you haven't ate for hours and you're just starving right when you wake up. Well, yeah, I haven't ate for 10 to 8 hours, so probably need some energy, right? And then you'll realize that throughout the day, it's like, oh, well, I'm not really getting that hungry. And sometimes even me, like if I'm working out later in the day, my pre-workout meal, I'm like, ooh, I gotta eat this. I don't really want to eat this, right? But after that workout, when I get home from the gym, I will eat anything that's in front of me. So there better not be no sweets in the cabinet. I'm going to eat it all, right? That's kind of how it goes. But that's kind of telling you, look, you didn't have food for a long time and now you're hungry. And then you were at work for 4 hours, so now you're hungry, right? You're doing stuff that's making you hungry. You're not hungry because you're feeling bad, right? And I think your energy levels and your hormone levels are gonna, especially if you go slow with the deficit, they're gonna be better than they were before. So you will be able to tell more when I'm tired or I'm exhausted or I've exerted a lot of energy. And then the hunger cues are just gonna make sense. Whereas before you couldn't tell if you were up or down, left or right. You know what I'm saying? You have a more baseline and your body will tell you what you're supposed to do. Now, a lot of that I just said about the hunger cues is very opinion based and could probably be tweaked or changed, disputed because, sorry, bro, no studies here. I just think that that's a really important factor of your lifestyle, especially once you fix your habits of working out and eating, then your habits of eating kind of go along with the hunger cues and you can learn when you are hungry and then you plan your meals around when you are hungry. And then once you get all those things perfect, like line, that is when the real progress happens. And I hate to be the one, this might take you a year just getting that down. It actually, I would rather it take you a year Because if it took you a year, that means you spent a year perfecting your craft and you are doing everything the way that your body wants it done. You know everything about what you're doing. You know what your body wants when it wants it, right? You know your routine of working out. You know what workouts you like to do, right? It took you a long time, but you figured it out. And that 1 year of personal growth, and it is not easy, do not get me wrong, that is going to change your life forever, forever. If you want to lose weight, you can lose weight. If you want to gain weight, you can gain weight. You have all the tools in your kit now. Yeah, I think that that's a really big thing that we're missing out nowadays is people are just taught at a young age, oh, shut up and go eat this snack, or shut up and go eat this snack, or oh, we're going to play, or we're going to grandma's house, let's have some ice cream. We have ice cream at grandma's house. We always have ice cream and brownies at grandma's house, right? You know, we're having fun with food. Oh, let's go out to eat to have fun. Let's go out to get drinks to have fun. Let's go out and eat, and we all hang out, and we all eat wings and nachos, and we associate the food with the fun. And whenever the food is just fuel for your body can have fun on its own. I mean, and I'm not perfect, dude. None of that. But, you know, I do, man, I'm feeling bad today. I'll have an energy drink. I will. Like, I'm not, like, there's no, everybody has vices, right? And you can't be perfect. But if you want your body to be healthy, you need to pick the things that you're willing to compromise on. Like an energy drink is what, 5 to 15 calories? I mean, come on. It's not going to make or break your goals. And long-term effects of the whatever fake sugars, I mean, I don't know what you want to say about them, but I haven't heard anybody die from them yet, and we've been having them for quite a long time. Sweet and low has been on the table my entire life, so don't want to push that button too hard because I'm not super big into that. I'm super big into if it works for you and you can get your body to a healthy body fat percentage and you can work out. And that's another thing. I just said body fat percent, healthy body fat percentage. You can be healthy at multiple different body fat percentages, right? I mean, a super big person who works out and pushes themselves every day and they're just, you know, big for whatever reason. Think of the world's strongest man or a power lifter or something like that who just has a ton of body fat on them but is strong. They're much better off than somebody who has, like, you know, no muscle mass underneath them, and then they're eating all kind of garbage, and it, you know, it's just kind of making your body healthy. I think the body fat percentage is just a byproduct of that. When you're actually pushing yourself and you're actually eating decent food and you're actually planning your meals around when you're hungry, it's not like you're just not gonna be super obese. You can be overweight, right? But you're just not gonna be that, you know, what we're talking about when we say super fat, right? And also, you shouldn't try to get super skinny because that's not healthy, especially as a natural person, you know, that's producing their own hormones. You know, nowadays a ton of people are on HRT and stuff, but if you're naturally producing your own hormones at some body fat percentage, I'm not going to say what, because it's probably different for everybody, your body will stop producing the hormones it needs because it's going to conserve the energy it uses to make hormones to keep you alive, you know? I think for natural people, in my opinion, that would be between 8 and 12% somewhere. You'll probably see not so good returns with dieting. But if you stay in between, and women is higher, obviously. I'm talking strictly about men just because that's where I'm going with it, you know, male bodybuilding. But like 12 to 18%, you could really be super healthy in there, look great, you know. And if you wanted to get peeled for some reason for a short amount of time, you could, and you have the tools in your kit, and you could get there. But floating around 12 to 18, I mean, in even some cases, some men, maybe even up to 25%. But what people don't even understand is 25% is like not crazy. Nowadays, people are like, oh, so, like these people are so big. Yeah, those people are like 60% body fat. Like, you don't understand. These people are like 75% body fat, walking around like the people in the carts at Walmart. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, that's just, 25% is perfectly healthy body fat for almost anyone. Now, if you don't want to look like that, you have to find your range of, okay, where am I feeling good and what do I look like? And you have to find your balance that you're comfortable being in. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one. That was a good shot, good try. Maybe we'll do some more of them, I don't know. If you like this, let me know so I can post more.